Okay, we should be live now. Just gotta wait for the stream itself to catch up. I want to make sure that the audio works. Do me a favor, Duck, and say something so I can check for levels.
Potato sacks.
Okay. Heard it here, folks. Potato sacks should be live.
Okay, so the whole main reason why I kind of wanted to do the whole streaming thing is because I do kind of want to bring this movie to people's attention. And it's something that I have never heard of before in my life, that I've never heard anybody talk about, that I only recently found about it because of a top 10 list of super underrated movies.
Oh, okay.
Strange Days.
Strange Days. Isn't that the one with Kiefer Sutherland?
No.
Oh, wait. The other one I was thinking of was Strange Land. That one's the one with D. fucking Snyder. Which one is Strange Days?
Strange Days is like a it's like a sci-fi future movie. It has Ralph Fiennes and Juliette Lewis, and it talks about this whole idea of that. It's almost kind of like a helmet thing that goes on your head that you can relive things through what they see when they record things through their eyes, and you can relive all of the sensations that they felt.
Interesting.
And it's a movie, I really don't want to talk about it too much. It's 2.5 hours. It's a long fucking movie. But it takes you on a journey. I really want to put it in a Blade Runner-esque world. That's too on the nose though. It's like a in the future type of movie.
Yeah, it's sort of like a sci-fi, akin to Blade Runner, sort of.
I wouldn't even say it's not even as future as Blade Runner. It's supposed to be one of those. I don't say
20 minutes in the future. Next Sunday, a fucking D kind of
deal. It's like when you want to laugh at how in the future it is. I think it takes place in 2001 or something like that. Like when you laugh at Demolition Man for being in 1990s, in the far off future of 1997.
Yeah.
But it takes on a lot of really weird. It takes you on a journey. It's the best way I can put it, of seeing things, experiencing things through basically super sci-fi tech type stuff, and on a lot of deception and love triangles and fucking what is it, race relations, I'd almost say. It's a very modern movie that took place in 1995.
Fascinating.
Or that was made in 1995.
Speaking of, journeys, I understand that you and I were talking about this before we started streaming, but I do want to give my viewers a little bit of an update, because as many of them know... no, dude, I also am so happy that you said journey, because it kind of segues this perfectly, and I will totally explain the reason why it's fitting in just a sec. As a whole lot of you guys know, I am currently trying to lose weight in order to get necessary hernia, surgery. I had a doctor's appointment on Friday, and they weighed me there, and in about the last 20 days or so, I've lost 25 pounds. I'm feeling fucking awesome. Now, the reason why the word journey sparked it is because while I was talking with my doctor about any other possible things I could possibly do, and there are a few plans that we're hoping are gonna, work out, he continued to refer to it as a weight loss journey, which I thought was pretty cool. Kind of sort of cheesy, but still pretty cool. So.
And it's funny. It's it's a little something that catches your ear the first time. The second time he says
it 2 other times, and I'm like, okay, it's a weight loss journey.
You don't understand this journey that you'll be undertaking.
No. It was always referred to as a weight loss journey. It was never this journey that you're going on.
That'd be so much better. If he just referred to the entire act of losing weight as a journey.
But, so, anyway, amongst the plans that are going on, which I'm hoping go through, He put in a referral for me to get gastric bypass surgery. That'll certainly help me shed a mountain of weight.
Oh yes.
I'm hoping for that to go, through, because you know what? Anything, honestly, to fucking lose this weight. I am absolutely committed to this. The other thing is, he called up a place, another local place. It was, I actually have the name of it written over here. It was Aurora Bay Care, setting me up for some kind of a high-end diet plan. I'm talking high-end as in, like, prescription strength diet plan, apparently. Like, this right here is not going out and buying Slim Fast at Walmart. This is like buying, like, turbocharged Slim Fast that only a doctor can give you. That kind of shit. In fact, I'm actually going to look this up just because I want to know about this stuff. It's called... Alright, so the company is called Medifast, and apparently that's the company which they are going through, which they do proven healthy weight loss. At least that's what their website says. I just looked at their website, so yeah. So yeah, I'll be going through that. Hopefully I'll be able to get that surgery soon.
So, tell me how your whole Medifast thing goes, because there's actually literally a, like, weight control center, like, down the road from me. Like, I know, I looked at, I just Googled it, it's like, here's, the local area near you, and I'm like, that's like a 5-minute walk.
So yeah, otherwise, like, right now, I've just been cutting back on sodas. I have completely fucking removed energy, I've removed energy drinks from my diet entirely. So I haven't had, like, a Full Throttle or a Red Bull or a NOS in, like, weeks. Fast food's pretty much completely gone. And my meals have been mainly just raw fruits and raw, vegetables, and occasionally I'll go out and I'll get some grilled chicken or a pork chop or something, like something small. So yeah, so far, I mean, everything is going awesome. I'm really sorry, dude, to have cut you off from your Days tangent, but we actually were talking about movies before we came live. We were just talking about a whole lot of shit. But
that's the main reason why I think that streaming was, because I want people to know about this movie, man. I don't think you understand how amazing I think this movie is. And, okay, here's the other main reason why I want people to know about it, because it had a budget of $42 million. Guess how much it made in box office?
I'm going to assume about 10 million.
Oh, they wish it was that high.
Oh, fuck.
It made $8 million.
Ouch.
And it's like, if you see this movie, you'll be like, wow, like, even if you don't like really like it, you'll be like, that wasn't a bad movie. How bad could it have been? Nobody.
See, and there actually are a lot of instances, dude, where I happen to find movies and I find out what they made in the box office, and it just floors me. In fact, one of the movies I covered for reaction and review, the reason why I covered it is because the fucking director wrote to me.
Oh.
And said my movie was the lowest grossing movie of whatever year the thing came out. I don't even fucking remember. In fact, it grossed so low that they actually put that there actually was a story on CBS Sunday fucking Morning talking about it. The movie was called The Ghastly Love of Johnny X. He was able to get it into one theater. It sold... I'm not even shitting you. It sold 2 tickets. So the thing cost, like, I think it was like $2 million to make or something. It cost very, very little to make. I mean, it's a beautiful looking movie, and you wouldn't even guess that the budget was as low as it is. But it pulled down about $16. Now,
well, actually, I'm going to break that number here. According to Google, or at least what I found.
Zizek Road. Yeah.
Well, Well, no. According to Google, The Ghastly Love of Johnny X made $2,436.
Oh, well, see, that though is kind of sort of a bloated number. The reason is because a lot of that was from film fucking festivals, but those sales don't count. Because it's a film fucking festival. For some reason, the box office from those don't count. And it was doing gangbusters at film, festivals. Mind you, film festivals, tickets are only like $2 or something. I mean, you're not spending a ton, which is why it's as high as it is because it would go to film festivals and they'd be selling out at the festivals.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie is amazing. God, who the hell stars in it? I cannot remember the guy's name. He starred in fucking Tromeo and fucking Juliet.
Oh, God.
Dude, the guy actually is a pretty good actor. It's just I know him from Tromeo and Juliet, first and foremost, just because he was also in like 2 episodes of Law and Order Special fucking Victims Unit, where he plays 2 different, rapists. But hey, that's neither here. That's neither.
Will Keenan.
That's it. Will Keenan. Yeah, he's been on a couple episodes of Special Victims Unit. He has been in a lot of things. What I find funny though is that The Ghastly Love of Johnny X showed me that he's a short motherfucker. It's like after watching Tromeo and Juliet, I never really picked up on how tiny this guy is. And then I saw him standing next to the rest of the cast in The Ghastly Love of Johnny X, and he is like the shortest dude there.
Great.
I mean, which, mind you, now that isn't me slamming him. It's just I really thought that he was.
Oh yeah. Fucking Tromeo and Juliet.
Tromeo and Juliet is pretty good.
I don't hate it. I enjoyed it. It is everything that it set out to be.
It is a Troma version of Romeo and Juliet, and my God, it's fantastic because of that. Yeah. It is freaking excellent for that very reason. So, how many Troma films have you seen, Doc?
God, not too many, honestly.
I am going to assume that you've seen like the basics, like Nukem High, Toxic Avenger, Kabuki Man.
Actually, no.
Really?
Yeah, no. Actually, okay, so let's see. I've seen Tromeo and Juliet. I've seen Poultrygeist.
Oh, that is such a good one.
I've seen a lot of Cannibal the Musical. I was watching it, like, I've tried to watch it multiple times, and I've fallen asleep. Like, I always watch it in bed, and it's one of those things where I'm enjoying it, and I'm very calm and cool, and so I just pass out.
Oh, dude, see, and I have a bad habit. I actually find myself, like, singing along with a lot of the songs. Because they're just that fucking catchy. Yeah, so...
I'm trying to think. I know I've seen 1 or 2 others, but I can't think of them off the top of my head.
Have you seen Troma's War? Or Redneck Zombies?
Mm-mm.
Combat Shock?
Maybe?
Combat fucking Shock is a dark one. That one there, I covered for Reaction and Review once, and I was completely floored, but just, dude... No.
I didn't see it, but I watched somebody do like an entire review, like, of it, like, and they were like, okay, this isn't what I normally do. You're gonna have to be prepped for this one.
Yeah, you have to kind of be prepped for that ending. That ending is certifiably going to fuck you up. That's just holy shit. That ending just. I just sometimes just think about the ending and I'm like, good God, that's fucked. And I don't normally say that about movies. It's like, when it comes to like Troma films, like the only other time I think I've ever just been completely just like flummoxed by an ending was the ending of Blood fucking Sucking Freaks, which just kind of just ends with everybody dying. No real need to mark that with a spoiler, because there really is no other way to end it and give any kind of closure outside of everybody dies because everybody's fucked.
Mm. Everybody dies.
Amazing movie though. So somebody asked when the next reaction and review is going up, and I really don't have an answer for that. I'm going to try to start filming again soon. I really can't guarantee anything. But yeah, I am going to try to get this shit like rolling again. I just gotta, try to make sure I can stay upright for the 3 to 5 hours it takes to film, edit, and all that fun shit. So,
Oh yeah, that's a good question. What do you think of the Jumanji remake?
I didn't even care for the fucking original Jumanji.
Okay.
Why should I care about the remake?
I saw a lot of people freaking the fuck out when they saw the trailer.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people are like, "Oh, the board game's gone."
And I was like, can we not just get over, at least they did, I'm pretty sure it has a subtitle, doesn't it?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Let's see. Yeah, it's called Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. And I am just thankful that they gave it some sort of subtitle instead of doing what Ghostbusters did.
Well, Ghostbusters has a subtitle.
Does it?
Technically. Almost every...
Technically.
because almost every poster and the official Facebook page refer to it as Ghostbusters... I think it's called, Answer the Fucking Call. Or something to that, effect, because they wanted to different. I mean, okay, I'm going to tell you right now that the Blu-ray spine just simply says Ghostbusters.
And see, that's the problem, is it's also known as Ghostbusters Answer the Call, but as it's marked on that, but it was always just called Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
if they had called it, Ghostbusters Answer the Call, or Ghostbusters The New Batch, something fucking, with a notable subtitle.
The New Batch? Is this a crossover with Gremlins?
Admittedly, it probably would have been better than what we fucking got anyway.
Honestly, yes. I really do believe that a Gremlins and Ghostbusters crossover would probably be the greatest fucking thing ever. Because I'm a big fan of both of those franchises. So,
I love Gremlins too. Nobody can ever...
Dude, Gremlins, Gremlins fucking 2 is amazing.
Everybody always talks about, oh man, it's just so silly and so, it doesn't take itself seriously at all. I was like, that's what makes it so great.
Because the first one was such a good dark comedy. It was really good to just have a lighthearted fuck about movie.
And that's what
they were totally able to parody and mock a lot of the shit from the first film. I mean, come on. The first movie, we got fucking Kate's story about her dad slipping and dying in the chimney, and it's all it's all fucking dour and sad. And then they reference it in the second film when Billy offhandedly mentions Lincoln, and she's like, "Please never ever mention Lincoln. I was at this park. It was an Abraham Lincoln in a raincoat, and he looked at me and he said, 'Hello there, little girl.'" That's when Billy walks her off.
No, we're not doing this again.
We are not going to listen to a story about how some old dude flashed you while dressed as Abraham Lincoln. Or just how they mock the fucking rules, as Billy's telling all the people in the control center about all of the rules, and then they're questioning the midnight rule about
well, if it's daylight savings time,
what happens? So what happens if he's on a plane and he eats a sandwich and he gets something caught in his teeth, and then midnight passes and then he pops it out? It's not really. I mean, he's not really eating it, and it's not after midnight, is it? They basically were and the best part has to be Leonard fucking Maltin's cameo. Because Leonard Maltin is one of the few critics who actively and openly disliked the first Gremlins movie. And so they asked him if he wanted to do a cameo in the sequel where he trashes the first one and then he gets swarmed by gremlins. And he said, that sounds awesome. Yes, let's fucking do this.
I had no idea that's why he was in it.
Oh yeah, he
that's
was
great.
in it because he was totally in on the joke. He totally knew what was gonna come in, and everybody thought it was a fun little thing, and so even he had a blast with it, and even he thought that the second one was kind of sort of a step up because the reason why he didn't like the first one and the reason why a couple other critics weren't fans of the first Gremlins is because of how dark the movie was. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
And I actually got a chance to read one of the early drafts recently. Holy fuck, it could have been so much darker. Have you ever read those early drafts of Gremlins?
No.
Oh boy. Well, first things first, Gizmo is never fucking named. Because he also turns into a gremlin.
Oh!
And the gremlins aren't these, like, 4-foot-tall, reptilian-skinned weirdos that we see in the movie. In those early drafts, the gremlins were... Okay, I want you to imagine Gizmo, except all of his fur is gone, and replaced with gremlin scales. And the ears have been turned into horns. That is how all the gremlins look. There's maybe like 12 of them when Gizmo first fucking, multiplies. And the way that they eat after midnight, it's not because they tricked Billy into giving him chicken.
Because they eat Billy.
No. It's because they ate Barney.
No, not Barney.
The dog.
Yes.
So
I know who Barney is.
That honestly is why in the final film, they send Barney to go live with their grandmother because they had to find a way to write the fucking dog out because they couldn't put the let's fucking feast on Fido in the final script. So instead of eating Barney underneath the Christmas tree, as was in the second draft,
oh my god,
they hung him by Christmas lights, and immediately Billy thinks it's Mrs. fucking Deagle. Amazing script, incredibly dark. Billy actually is kind of sort of a douchebag in that script. And his mom's a fucking like pill fucking popper too. It's weird. Like, I don't know, dude. I am not even shitting you. I am gonna have to try to find. I'm gonna have to find it. I'm gonna have to find this thing and send it to you, or else you'll have to search for it. But there actually is a scene where Billy and his mom are talking, and the script calls for her to open up her pill bottle, and I think it might have been like a Valium or something. She pops at least 4 of them over the course of this scene. I'm sitting there reading it. I'm like, Jesus fuck, dude. Ease up a little. So, yeah, oh man, it is just such a great early draft. It actually is one of those things where if I would ever want to see a remake of Gremlins, I want it to be of that early script.
Oh, God.
Specifically just because it sounds so awesome.
I don't know. That might ruin the magic of Gremlins, though.
I don't know, man. I mean, because you know what? Gremlins is freaking awesome and everything. And I think that going as pitch fucking dark as possible.
Yeah, and then again, I am one to speak, though, because at least, because, it wasn't until after we started talking about, what was it, I can see it from here, Little Shop of Horrors, that I learned about the original ending, and then we learned, it was on the Blu-ray release and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
And that, I was so glad that that's the ending that Stephanie got to see when she first watched it.
See, I honestly fucking love both endings.
I love the darker ending just that much more.
Well, I think actually that though has more to do with the badass song that they sing as all the Audreys are ripping through New York. It's like, "Don't Feed the Fucking Plants" is just such a badass song. and it plays as these things are just ripping through New York. What's weird is the whole movie just has this air of low budget, and then you get to that ending, and the ending fucking looks like it cost twice as much as the rest of the movie did.
But see, though, actually, what my most favorite part of it is when Audrey dies. I thought that was gut-wrenching. Like, I felt like, you know, like that was a solid finale, like a solid finish to her character. Like, you know, everything was going right, everything was going great, and then things get fucked up.
Well, I wouldn't say everything is going great because her previous boyfriend was chopped up and fed to a plant. I don't care.
But he was a dick anyway.
Granted, but still, you know, it's like her previous fucking boyfriend died, and Seymour was just, you know, on the fucking rebound. Like, that's, you know, that, like,
Seymour deserved her. Screw you.
See, I honestly wouldn't even say that, because Seymour was the one who fed fucking Mushnick to the plant. Kind of.
And that's another thing, though, is I do also love it when things happen to characters, like, you know, when things just become spiraling out of control. Yeah. And things don't always end well, because I think we've all been there. Where we're like, oh shit, I didn't think this was going to happen like that. Oh god damn it, now I'm...
The best laid plans and all that shit.
Yeah. I know, that's why when I first saw the original, when I first saw it, you know, with the theatrical ending, I was like, you know, like, it was alright, but it just wasn't very satisfying. Like, you know, everything's wrapped up tight with a nice little bow on top, and I'm like,
I wouldn't exactly say it's wrapped up tight, because it does sort of end, you know, and Seymour and Audrey, they walk in, and they walk into their perfect little, you know, like, Rockwell house, and then the camera pans down, and right there's a little Audrey fucking two bud there, which means that the don't feed the plants ending could still technically
canonical, yeah, but
except maybe on like a smaller scale. So, yeah. So, what else we got in here for questions? Hey, Emer, would you rather have fingers as long as your legs, or legs as long as your fingers? Well, if I had legs as long as my fingers, at least I could get around in a fucking wheel, in a, like, wheel-like chair. If I had fingers as long as my legs, I don't think I'd be able to do anything with them.
I don't know, dude. Like that's one of those, you know, those old school cartoon characters where they'd walk around on their legs, or they'd walk around on their hands because they were so buff. Yeah. You know, at this point, you're like a terrifying spider human. Yeah. and like, you know, legs guess. As long as your fingers. You just don't have legs at that point, unless you still have feet that are your normal size, which no, and definitely no.
Well, at that point, then I guess I'd be almost, you know, like Cotton Hill. I can't fit him in.
So I'm starting to lose faith in humanity slightly.
Okay, why is that, dude?
Because I hate to call this out on somebody that we know near and dear, but people like Razor Fist are the reason why we can't have nice things.
How so?
Because, okay, so do you know about the whole Alex Mauer thing that's going on right now?
No.
Okay, so Alex Mauer is this made music for video games. She is apparently a pretty talented person, but recently she was working on a game with a company, and when the game finally came out, they hadn't reached a total agreement on what her pay was going to be. So instead of doing the logical thing, which is, you know, like suing the company that didn't pay her and is still using her music in their game, she started filing DMCA takedowns on YouTubers, and has been basically trying to get people's channels shut down in order to get them to rise up against the game company for wronging her.
Wait, so she's filing takedown notices on YouTubers thereby technically wronging them.
Uh-huh.
So they will rise up and work as her personal army because they wronged her.
Yep.
Fuck her then.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I agree 100%. And she's done a whole lot of other things, and I'm pretty sure like people will in chat probably because I know this. I know the circle that is around your chat, and that's why I bring up Razorfist and people like Sargon of Akkad, people like Sid Alpha, who are some of my personal favorites. They're the reasons why we can't have nice things because they point out this shit, they call out the bullshit, and then other people will latch onto this and use it as a weapon against them. And will actually, the only reason why I brought this up is because I saw somebody mentioning Friday the 13th, and there was an entire thing around that, which I don't know if you've heard.
Actually, is because someone has a couple of questions that they've already posted them at least 3 times in the chat. One of them makes no sense at all because it doesn't work in the logic of the movies, which was why didn't Pamela jump into the lake to save her son? Because she wasn't there when he drowned. And why, if he drowned as a kid, did he come back as a fucking adult?
He didn't, though. Because I'm pretty sure at the end of the first movie, he came out at the end.
Well, that honestly was just a fucking dream, though. Like, I really don't think it's ever really explained how Jason drowned in the lake as a kid and then comes back as an... I mean, it could easily be that he didn't drown and just ran into the woods.
Or he did drown and then washed up on shore and nobody found him, and then he grew up in the woods as a crazy child.
Yeah, I mean,
trying to survive on his own.
Tons of different ways you could possibly explain it. It's not really something that has to be overthought or even questioned, though. It's just sort of there.
Okay, but anyway, the whole big debacle is actually about the Friday the 13th game.
Oh.
So apparently, there's, as they say, there's 2 sides to every story. There were some kids playing a game of Friday the 13th, and they were teaming up with Jason because they knew Jason. And they were like, we're going to get everybody killed. Like assholes.
Is that something which can get you banned now if you team up with Jason?
That's the whole thing. So there's reasons why these new rules were recently established was because this happened. And what happened was, this guy started calling them out on their bullshit. And he said, as one of those things goes, words were exchanged. Nobody knows what was said because we don't have any actual proof, and nobody's been able to give any satisfying proof. He said, yes, I called them names, I called them things, and they went, well, we don't care, we're friends with the devs, we're going to get you banned. And the guy ends up getting banned. His defense is that, yes, he was angry, yes, he said some things, but they were, he didn't say anything that, you probably haven't heard on any other day of the week, driving down the street and accidentally cut somebody off type of a thing. Devs go out and say, oh, well, actually, that's not what happened. He was making, sexually threatening comments to 13-year-olds. And it's and it becomes a situation of he said, she said. And so a lot of people started getting angry, and one of the people, I'd say, people that are just like outside sources that are just reporting on the details. Sid Alpha. One of those people that's like Sargon Akkad, who focuses in on where things are becoming dramatic and going, here's the facts, look at them, do what you will. He brought up this whole big debacle that was going on. Suddenly, the Friday the 13th servers get DDoSed repeatedly. One of the developers got doxxed, got sent, tons of death threats and that type of stuff. And so much so that even his parents got doxxed and death threats and all that fun stuff.
Yay.
And even Sid Alpha's reaction was, well, shit, I kind of feel responsible for this. But you know what? I didn't do anything wrong in this case, so, I'm just going to keep on going and reporting things as I have been. But it's because of fucking assholes that ruin good things, that we can't have good things. And people, because I bring it to focus around like Razor Fist and people like that are like centralized around assholes, and because going through some of Razor Fist comments, makes me sad sometimes.
So we have another question here. Outside of the N64 titles, are there any other wrestling games you love that came out in the 90s? Well, there's SmackDown and SmackDown 2.
And outside of N64 titles?
Outside of the wrestling games that came out on the Nintendo 64, WrestleMania 2, 2000, No Mercy, Revenge, all those. Are there any other 90s wrestling games that you love?
No.
To which I'd say SmackDown and SmackDown 2. Had a lot of fun with both of those.
No, because all my games were on the N64.
That works. I mean, granted, like, SmackDown is probably one of the most unfinished wrestling games I've ever seen, but it was still fun. See, and what I mean by unfinished was they left in something which was apparently there only for the, devs to make sure that, the right shit was being used. It was every time that you would hit a wrestling move, it would show the name of the move on screen.
Oh.
So if you ever play the first SmackDown, you might happen to notice that in singles matches. Like you might go for like a vertical suplex, and it'll say vertical suplex at the bottom of the screen. Or any of the other moves that are out there, like power bombs or
that'd be fucking great.
And it looked sort of cool, and you had the option of turning it off, but apparently that was a feature that wasn't even supposed to be in the game.
Dude, that'd be great. I wish they had that in the newer games. There's so many moves nowadays. I don't know what I'm doing half the time.
Oh, really? Yeah. You sit there, you look at it, it's like, I don't know what the fuck this move is. I mean, shit, that actually come in handy on Fire Pro, where there's quite literally thousands of goddamn
And how hard could it really be? Because it just basically will just say blank animation. Because they have to have the animations preset.
Oh yeah, and it honestly was just to make sure that because they actually had like the movesets like printed out, the testers had to make sure that left and square does this, and so on and so forth.
And that'd be such a little feature.
It really was a nice little feature. I believe they kept it in SmackDown 2 because some people actually kind of liked it. And then by the time they moved to the PS3, they had completely gotten rid of it, just because, it is fucking what it is. By the way, have you played the new Fire Pro at all?
No, I haven't. I've seen people playing it.
Oh, dude, it is so much fun. But then again, it's fucking Fire Pro, so...
Yeah. WCW versus NWO Revenge.
Yes.
That's my go-to game. Like
that's
my shit, man. Yeah, I cannot, like, that is what got me into wrestling, and that's whenever like I get that, like, I wonder what's going on in the wrestling world. It's memories of that game that rekindle that.
Funny thing, like, shortly after that game came out, I was actually hanging out with a guy who had a copy. And
I still have mine sitting. I can see it from here.
And we played the fuck out of it for like an entire weekend. And then one night, we noticed that you could fuck around with the options for matches. So we're like, what if we did a 40-man battle fucking royale? But you can only be eliminated by pinfall, submission, or knockout.
Oh, shit.
And he's like, dude, we are totally fucking doing that. So
it takes so long.
Took us 4 hours, man. Funny thing is that I started off as fucking, like, Bret Hart. God damn, I must have lasted at least 2.5 hours as Bret Hart alone. Just kicking ass. And that's partially because I learned the happy incident of when you get knocked down, you crouch, and then you ding them, and then you ding them in the dick when they get close to you. which had that really awesome bell fucking sound on it too when the arm hits. Ding. And then, like, the next guy I came in as was Nash, and I cleaned up with Nash. Like, I wound up winning with Nash just because, Nash was like OP as shit. So, have you ever played the TNA game?
No, I have not.
It was okay. Okay, there actually is kind of a story here. That fucking game engine has been used on at least 3 different games. There's only one I would honestly say is worth playing. Because TNA, it was fairly decent, but it was really lacking in polish. You know what I mean? It's like, it was kind of sort of buggy, and the only match that was really fun to do was Ultimate X. And really, the only fucking wrestler who was really fun to play as was Hernandez. And that's because Hernandez's finisher is the border toss, which is a throwing crucifix powerbomb. A razor's edge, razor's edge, outsider's edge. Except instead of just driving them like straight down, he hucks them forward. So they fly forward about 4 or 5 feet.
Oh,
so
fun.
If you are over by the ring ropes and they have their back to the ropes and you're able to do the finisher, Hernandez will throw them out of the fucking ring.
Jesus.
Which makes frickin' Ultimate X matches so easy. You just pick them up, you huck them, and the distance just leaves them down for about 40 seconds, which gives you plenty of time to get onto the cables, crawl over, and grab the belt, or grab the X, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The second game that used that engine was actually for the Mexican promotion AAA. It was Heroes. It was called Heroes of the Ring, and it had fucking like Conan and Vampiro and just a lot of other like Mexican stars in there. And the game once more was okay, but it still lacked a lot of polish. Finally, the people who made that game, it actually was the first game, TNA's game, was actually made by Midway. It was one of the last games that Midway made before they went under.
Oh, God.
But the people who worked on that game started working on a title for WWE. The game was called WWE All-Stars, which basically took that engine and turned it into it became the most like it was a very, very fucking Katie style wrestling game.
Yeah, I remember that.
The characters also were all like beefed out and shit.
I remember because I got the demo for it, and that was actually, so believe it or not, that was one of my videos on YouTube that like got a lot of views back in the day.
Oh, was you playing the All-Stars demo?
Yeah. Because like when it first came out, I was like, I actually want to play this. I'm going to try it. I want to see how fun it is. And I had to play as fucking Ultimate Warrior because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, because it's the Ultimate Warrior. Duh. But they also had a mode in there, which was at times, kind of fun, but also it also sort of skewed kind of shit. It was essentially a like dream match mode. And what I mean by good at times and kind of shit at others was it was a series of matches pitting one current WWE star against a legend. And there was normally some kind of a theme.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in certain cases, the theme worked really well. Mind you, they also had video fucking packages and they were actually fucking like promoting the match. Certain ones were edited beautifully to actually make it look like a real match was happening. For instance, if you do a search for WWE All-Stars, CM Punk and Stone Cold Steve Austin, that was one of the matches. Well, CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they had this whole package where CM Punk is talking about his straight edge lifestyle, and they were using bits of his fucking promos when he was feuding with Jeff Hardy. When he was talking about Jeff Hardy's demons and all of that. And they tied it in with Austin just being a beer fucking drinking lunatic. And they spliced these clips together so well, I looked at it and said, I actually want to see this match. I don't want to play it. I want this match to happen. So they had ones like that which worked really well. And then they had ones like Jake Roberts against fucking Randy Orton, because it's a snake against a viper. And that was all they had.
Uh-huh. I get it.
Like Superfly against Kane, because Superfly was, you know, a crazy fucking wild man in the ring, and Kane's a crazy wild man in the ring. It's kind of weak, yeah. Another one which felt kind of weird was Shawn Michaels against The Undertaker, because by this point they'd already had their WrestleMania matches. So it was legend Undertaker, I believe, against current Michaels.
Huh.
But still, I mean, it was a fun game. You had those, and then you also had your season modes, or your career modes, whatever the hell, where you had a series of matches, either leading up to a fight against The Undertaker, or a fight against DX. And you'd get these cutscenes, where for the Undertaker one, it would be Taker, and it'd be Legend Taker, and Paul fucking Bearer. And they're
great.
They are on the old funeral home set from the early '90s when Paul Bearer had his like funeral home talk show, and they had the fucking like, and they had put a casket in the back and shit, and they had Paul Bearer cutting these awesome promos about how you will never beat his Undertaker. Oh yes. And then the DX one is just DX talking fucking shit, because that's what DX does. And it really was a fun game. And it was really like the best use of that fucking engine that started with the TNA game. Someone's asking if Legends of WrestleMania was a good game.
Which one was that?
That one there was like the first one on the PS. It was one of the first ones on the PS3. And I would have to say no, because if there's one thing I hate about a lot of games, I'm not a fan of QuickTime. I'm not a fan of QuickTime events, because that doesn't feel like a game. And Legends of WrestleMania, every match is like 90% QTE.
See, I like QuickTime, but I get why.
However, there actually was a cool feature in Legends of WrestleMania. If you had that year's SmackDown game, I think it was SmackDown versus Raw 2007 or whatever the fuck, and you had SmackDown save fucking data, you were able to import most of the roster from that game into Legends of WrestleMania. So besides the fact that the venues were just WrestleManias 1 through 15, and the roster was made up of guys who wrestled exclusively in WrestleManias 1 through 15, you could then add all the, most of the, at the time, current WWE roster.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because that's one of the things that I remember about that game was didn't have a very, like, small selection for characters.
It kind of did, yes. Because it had, like, Hogan, Bret Hart, Yokozuna. It had... Like,
it just had all the heavy hitters.
Yeah, it had basically all of your main event guys, and a lot of your better, like, mid fucking Carters. So you had, like, Brutus Beefcake and Mr. Perfect, and, you know, all of them. You know, guys who've never fucking main evented a WrestleMania ever. And basically it had people who were on speaking terms with WWE at the time. So you didn't see, like, Randy Savage in there, because they finally wrung out a deal with Savage a couple years after he had passed. They were able to talk it over with his family, and he finally got, you know, they were finally able to smooth out a deal, and
yeah,
you know, he finally got his shit together. Well, they finally got him in the games, which is cool.
Yeah, which is nice. You know, it's one of those things, like, it's really hard to just, like, go through, like, all of those things where, like, you know, just not seeing certain characters, you're just like, but they were there, dude. You know they were there.
Yeah, I mean, because one thing that people always ask about is why isn't Owen Hart in any of the current WWE games? Because they're always gunning for legends. You know, they're always trying to get more legends in there. And the reason why is because Owen's wife wants nothing to do with WWE.
Yeah.
She will not fucking speak with them. She will not entertain any kind of deal to feature Owen in any video games. In fact, actually, when they brought in the WWE network, it was nothing short of a miracle that they were able to get over the edge on there.
Wow. I can only imagine. I just thought about it. Yeah, it was on there.
Oh yeah, except it's heavily edited.
Yeah.
They basically cut every mention of Owen Hart, the entire bit with them fucking like panning over the crowd and JR trying to tell them it's that this honestly is not a part of the show. All of that is cut. So the show's like 20 minutes shorter, 20 minutes, 30 minutes shorter than any other show on there. So, what's your favorite card game? Have you got a favorite, dude?
Oh. I don't know. Would you consider Coup a card game?
Kind of.
Or are we talking like, your standard, your Blackjack, Texas Hold'em?
I'm just going to assume that they mean like card games in general. So we're talking...
Or are we talking Yu-Gi-Oh? Or...
I'm going to assume it's like all of it. Like standard card games, trading card games, deck building games.
Actually, no, I take it back. One thing that I have been very much enjoying, I can't not... I haven't had a bad session with it, has been the Rick and Morty card game.
You couldn't pay me to touch that.
I know you're not a Rick and Morty guy.
I can't stand the show.
You don't even have to enjoy Rick and Morty to enjoy the game. It's a game it's a deception based game, but it's a co-op deception game.
Okay, so it's basically co-op fucking Coup, kind of.
It's more so a co-op. You're set towards a goal. So what it is there's a whole bunch of characters on the table in front of you, and they're either real or they're parasites. If you kill three real people,
it's based on that shitty episode. Okay.
Fuck you! I love that episode.
Somebody actually told me I should give the show a second chance. I watched that, and the moment I heard a character whose name was Mr. Poopy, butthole, I'm like, yeah.
You have to realize that the show's sense of humor is,
puerile.
Yes. It's the humor is based in dicks and balls and poop and butts, and there is a lot of nuance and cleverness to it.
Okay, I'm going to have to take your word on that.
But anyway, the whole purpose is, there's characters that are real and ones that are parasites, and your goal is to try to kill all the parasites and not kill the real people. You kill 3 real people, you're out, or you lose. It's pretty straightforward. So your goal is to continuously try to take out as many parasites as you can without killing real people. And you kill real people, you lose a card. It's a very limited card game. I think there's only like 50 cards in the entire to a deck.
Okay.
But it's simple, straightforward, co-op. You win or you lose. And there is like a versus mode too, where somebody plays as a parasite or may or may not play as a parasite, and trying to figure that out. And I've had games that I thought just went perfectly. We made it. We played for I think like 20, 30 minutes, and we were like, all right, we got it. We totally got this. We win, right? We flip over all the cards, and one of them is a parasite. We lost. But everybody was so happy that we lost.
Interesting. So, somebody here mentioned Duel Masters. Have you ever played Duel Masters?
Oh, fuck. I know that I have. Hold on. I have to look this up.
Duel Masters is basically Magic without fucking mana.
Yeah, I remember this.
It's pretty good.
I will totally admit, I probably haven't played this since, when did it run in US TV? On Cartoon Network, it ran from 2004 to 2006, so I probably haven't played it since about 2004, 2005. So forgive me if my knowledge of 12 years old, from 12 years ago, is a little bit off.
And the funny thing is that they actually brought it back recently.
Really?
Okay, now, do you happen to remember the old show?
Yes.
Where the fucking card game actually wasn't called Duel Masters, it was called Kai Judo?
Yeah.
That actually is what the game is called now. The card game itself is now called Kai Judo, and it plays the same way.
Huh.
See, and the one thing that I liked about the game is I would try to teach people Magic, and they wouldn't quite get it, and I knew that I could go down to my local gaming shop and they have Duel Masters decks for $5. So I'm like,
pick one of those up.
I'm going to start you off a little bit slower. We're going to start with Duel Masters. Once you're comfortable with this, I'll show you the differences between that and Magic. And all of a sudden now these people are hooked on Magic.
Maybe we'll have to try that. I wonder if they have it on Tabletop Sim. Maybe you could finally get. Maybe you could finally get me into Magic.
I would probably totally try that. Except I actually built a deck recently because I've been talking with some coworkers, and I found out that the recent sets, or rather the most recent set, had a ton of Minotaurs.
Yeah, you told me about that.
So I built an entire black and red Minotaur deck, and I've been meaning to fucking play it, except, well, I've been stuck at home in bed.
I'm telling you, man, teach me Duel Masters, then teach me Magic, and maybe I'll finally be able to get into it.
Except you already know Duel Masters.
Well, again, I just said, sorry, I haven't played it in 12 fucking years.
Still, it honestly, dude, is kind of sort of like riding a fucking bicycle. Like, once you learn, it's stuck.
I don't know, dude. You probably couldn't throw me into a Magic game right now. And I did learn Magic when I was about 6 or 7.
Someone in here says that they play fucking Hearthstone because they are poor. Well,
yep.
Sorry to hear that.
That's a reasonable excuse to play Hearthstone.
I would like to say that if you want to play a real card game, you can go on Steam. I'm sorry, I don't like Hearthstone.
No, it's simple and straightforward, and it's free. Come on,
it's baby's first card game. Shit.
Hey, you gotta learn how to play Magic by learning Duel Masters. Apparently.
Well, that is like one way of teaching. I have other people who just are like, I just want to learn Magic. Teach me. Magic.
So we have the hierarchy. We teach them Hearthstone.
Who learn Magic through Pokemon because it plays with similar mechanics.
So no, here we go. We teach them Hearthstone, then we teach them Duel Masters, then we teach them Magic, and you just gotta work your way up the chain.
It all just kind of works.
We gotta buy.
I was gonna say, if you've got like $15 kicking around, you can go on Steam. You can get Tabletop Simulator,
and boom, you can play all the Magic you want.
You can play everything on Tabletop Sim.
Yeah, and actually, Steam Summer Sale just ended. Actually, I think it was down to $10.
Holy shit!
I bought it for a friend of mine because I was like, dude, we gotta fucking play. We played Sheriff of Nottingham. We played Dead of Winter.
Because I know that on tabletop with various people, I know I've played Coup. I've played Uno.
Oh yeah.
Uno, I still have some very fond memories, like when Duck
didn't we
flipped out when we called him on some. That video is still live on YouTube if you guys want to go find it.
I swear to God, I said it.
Uno.
I said it. I don't care what you fucking say. I said it.
Both of us are like, Duck, draw. You're like, no, Uno. I called it. I fucking called it, man. Oh, shit. So much fun playing Uno. I've played the DC deck, building game, which is a lot of fun. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, we had fun with that. Actually, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. I was willing, if you would want to at some point, I wanted to try the Aliens deck building game.
Oh, you mean the Aliens Legendary?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Because I was looking into the rules on Legendary. Well, it was the Marvel version of Legendary, but I'm going to assume it's the same rules. And it just doesn't sound like my kind of... hey, I'd be totally down if somebody wants to try it at some point.
Just to give it a shot, because I've been staring at it in my local game shop like every time I go in there, and I'm like, man, I really want to get this, but it's like $60, and I really don't have that kind of money to dedicate to something that I'm not sure I'll like. But of course, they have it on Tabletop Sim, so I can fucking play it for free. Give it a demo run.
I tried playing Clue on tabletop once. That was kind of fun. There really are a ton of games you can get on tabletops. Oh, Super Fight. We've played Super Fight a few times.
Oh god, yeah, we played Super Fight. Whatever you fucking say, my Spartan with one leg tied behind his back and his clothes were a little bit too tight was still one of the best fighters we've ever had.
I think so, yes. Wasn't there also one where it was like, I'm trying to remember, it was like some little thing, and then like I had a card, it was like select any character, and I think I went with fucking like God fucking Zilla, and then you played a card that swapped them, and then you looked at me and you just simply said fucking Galactus.
Yeah.
And then the setting wound up being like a water slide of lava.
Something like that, probably.
Like, there was so much.
Oh god, those are some great games. I will never forget though that our first game that we played, the one that we didn't record, was I think the best that we have, like the best game of Super Fight that I've ever played. And it was just you, me, and Asa. Like, that was the best fucking game I've ever played.
Well, yeah, just because, because one thing that makes Super Fight so much fun, and I know that we don't play it by common rules, because normally the way it goes is the two people playing are the ones who are supposed to be debating who would win, and then the whole table votes. But it always turns into the whole table's trying to argue points.
Oh yeah, really, it always comes down to the judge asking reasonable questions, though.
Well, like, I mean, a judge, because we usually play with 3. If we're playing with like 4 or 5, then there isn't a judge. It's just the high vote at the table.
It's just vocal people speaking out of turn, going, "Wait, but when did this happen?" Yeah, well, because you're in a fighter jet and you can only move by doing backflips in the cave, your fighter jet would immediately crash. Boom!
Except, honestly, if it was that cramped off, and I thought about this afterwards, because I think it was like a cave full of fucking dragons, wasn't it?
No, I was
in a fighter jet that could only do backflips. We were like in a cave. I think the other person drew like a fucking dragon. Because there was something in there about fucking dragons, and I'm like, well, if I'm like crashing around like a spastic, then your dragon can't have much movement. Exploding Kittens, we have played Exploding Kittens.
Oh yeah, we played Exploding Kittens once.
Oh god, Exploding Kittens is so much fun.
I really do think we need to try that with more people.
Yeah, Flux, we've played Flux quite a few times.
Yeah. God. Okay, so I have a terrible story about Flux.
Oh boy.
I tried to get my friends into it, and because sometimes you just have those games that things just don't go right.
Yeah.
I ended up taking I think 7 or 8 minute turn
in Flux.
Yes.
How the fuck did that happen?
Because so what ended up happening was I ended up playing you must play all of your cards. And so I had to play them in order, and we ended up swapping hands 3 times and drawing cards twice, and it was an entire wreck. But it was the longest turn I have ever taken, and since then they have never wanted to play it with me again. And I was like, yeah, no, I totally get why.
Yeah, see, the only time that I've ever scared off people from a fucking game, and I've probably told the story a few times. A friend of mine had picked up a copy of Seen It, the DVD trivia game.
I have a copy sitting on my desk.
Yeah, and we started playing, and we rolled to see who would go first, and I went first. And according to the rules, at least as far as we could tell, if you answer a question correctly, then you get to go again. I was 3/4 of the way across the board before I finally missed one.
I was gonna say, so what happened? Did you win before anybody else got a turn?
Almost 3/4 of the way, bro. And the only fucking reason why I even lost is because we got into one of those ones where anybody can answer. It's one of those ones where you throw on something on the fucking DVD, and it's this picture fills in, and you got to be the first to answer.
Oh.
And somebody else beat me to it. Because it was some movie I had never seen, but they apparently watched it constantly. So I missed out on that, and that person got to go 3 times, Next person missed out on their first question. Person after that missed out on their first question. And then it was right back to me, and I won the game. I won in 2 turns.
I can only imagine.
At which point I went, I'm sorry, guys. I really... perhaps maybe next time we should try something different. Like, I know pretty much fuck all about, Harry Potter movies. If you can get, like Harry Potter scene it, we might have a bit more of an even thing. I also happen to remember when once a bunch of us were playing Trivial, we were playing Trivial Pursuit. It was like 4 of us. It was like New Year's Eve one year. And I'm going to tell you right now, a bunch of nerds playing that game, it takes forever, mainly because none of us know shit about sports. So the hardest part was getting the sports wedge. And the only reason why any of us would get it is because it would be this ultra easy question, like, this fucking, like, Chicago player has the jersey number 23. Michael Jordan. Ta-da!
This baseball team is from New York.
Dude, there's 2 baseball teams from New York.
And has won several World Series. Fuck you! Let's see.
I barely watch baseball, and even I know that.
I don't fucking know nor care.
Anyway. There have been just a lot of interesting moments with board games with me, like whether it be on tabletop sim or playing with friends or just, like there have just been just really fun moments. Like,
okay, I have found the best game ever on tabletop sim, and I don't care what anybody says. It is Pass the Pigs.
They have Pass the Pigs on tabletop sim?
Yes, somebody made a coded version of Pass the Pigs, so it'll automatically tally your points and everything. So you don't even have to like mark it down and worry about if you pig out. Yes, somebody else was excited about it.
Dude, man, it's Pass the Pigs. That game's awesome. For those of you who've never heard of Pass the Pigs, because I know it's kind of it's not really the most popular game out there. It's a game that literally is made up of 2 little bitty plastic pigs, which have a black spot on one side. And you roll them like dice. And you score based on how the pigs land.
And can I tell you about what happened last time I played?
What's that?
I fucking scored a double leaning jowler, my friend.
Oh my god.
You have any idea how much that's worth? That's 60 points right there.
I was about to say, that one there is like one of the tougher ones to get.
It is the hardest one to get, and I fucking got it. And I have never been so proud of myself in a tabletop game as when I was when I got 60 points and passed the fucking pig.
Someone asks, did you ever hear of VCR games? Of course. I actually had when I was a kid. This actually will kind of show that I've been a wrestling fan for a long ass time. There was a WWF fucking like VHS game, and I happen to remember that we fucking played it once, and we swore we would never play it. We would never play it, again because the tape was screwed up. Not actually the tape as in you can't play it, but there is like one bit where one player gets horribly fucked. So basically, the way that it works is you had to go around the board, and you're like scoring points and all this, and occasionally it would tell you to go to the tape, and you would hit play and you'd watch a clip from a WWF show. It would tell you straight up, like Hulk Hogan fucking represents blue and Paul Orndorff represents red, and then it would show you a clip. And then it would tell you the score, or it would tell you what anybody scores. And there was a moment where I think it was actually Hogan and Magnificent Morocco. Hogan was fucking red, Morocco was blue. And the clip is Hogan scoring a pinfall on him, which would be a huge boost for, red. And then on screen it says blue, 50 points. And we all looked at it, and we're like, wait, what? No. That should be red 50. And so then we stopped it. We went, so do we give blue the 50 points because the tape says? Or do we give red 50 points because that's who scored the fucking fall? And eventually we just said, you know, this fucking game is kind of shit anyway, let's just stop. And eventually I sat down and I watched the fucking tape, and there's like four other instances of that.
Where they just got it wrong.
Where something happens and they give the score to the wrong person.
Great.
So let's see, what else we got here? My favorite ship is Emer X Rainbot. That's fascinating. I didn't know people shipped me and her. Cool.
Who?
Rainbot. Okay, so Rainbot is someone that I am sub to on YouTube. She is really fast. She's really entertaining to watch. She does horror videos. She does like her first big series was I think it was like top 5 things you shouldn't Google. And she has like a bunch of those. She did videos talking about like spree killers and serial killers and creepy fucking Japanese videos, and they are all made incredibly well. She is a very entertaining person to listen to. I actually would never even have known about her if she hadn't have commented on a few of my videos, and I saw her name pop up, and I wanted to know who she was. So I checked out her channel, and I watched some of her videos, and then I subbed to her because her fucking shit's amazing. So.
Huh.
So yeah, if you guys are ever curious, by all means, check her out. I didn't know anyone was shipping me and her. That's
who? What's her name again?
Okay, well, her full channel name is actually Rainbot Horror. It's REIGNBOT. That's all you're.
Oh, rain is in. Okay.
Yeah.
I was sitting here looking up rain as in like, you know, rain from the sky, and I'm like, huh.
No. She also has a community on Facebook who's pretty active. So.
Oh, that's always good.
Well, I also have a community on Facebook. It's just not quite as active.
Not active.
So. Well, no. It's just that like not a lot of people post on there. So.
It's about as active as I am. No, okay.
So anyway, what else we got here for questions? Have you ever heard of Sonic's Ultimate Harem? It's a fan fiction that's longer than the Bible. Okay. We're going to have to make a note of that and send it.
Oh, God. Why did you have to say that?
What?
Hold on. Okay, actually, oh, by the way, Emer, have you finally made the switch over to Discord yet?
Of course. I've had a Discord server for a while.
Why the fuck am I not in there? And also, why the fuck are we not over there? Because you made me get on Skype, okay? You have no idea how long it's been since I signed into Skype on my computer.
Well, because I'm more used to, chatting on Skype than I am on Discord. Seriously, there's like a whole lot of chat going on over there, but
well, I mean,
chat,
you can always do a private call in Discord.
I could.
Yeah. Just because it works so much better. Well, okay, let's see. Where is
any of you guys use any products from Shark Tank? I don't think so. I don't think I've ever used anything that was featured on Shark Tank.
Let's see.
Part of that I know is because I don't watch a whole lot of Shark Tank and I don't know all the shit that's been featured on there.
Okay, I'm not doing it on Business Insider because fuck them. Let's see. I'm not... I do actually kind of like the look of that one. The sweat-proof undershirt.
The worst GoFundMe campaign you have seen? I don't think anything's ever going to top the kid who wanted the twerking fucking butt.
I forgot all about that.
Actually, that one and Virgil, wrestling superstar Virgil, begging for $1 million. Those two. I actually still think that the twerking fucking butt is still worse, just because.
I don't know, man. I didn't even know Virgil, and that was pretty fucking bad, even for me to watch.
Well, see, like, Virgil at least doesn't have a video up on his. It's, he just says, "Oh, it's time for me to stop hustling and start making money," and, and then he goes on Twitter, and he has videos of him in fucking, like, hotel rooms where he's, like, making it fucking rain with singles. Let's see.
I thought there was a video.
On Virgil's? No.
Yeah.
On the
no?
twerking, no. Just on the twerking fucking butt video, or just on the twerking butt page was there a video. And I noticed that shortly after I made that video talking about the twerking butt, GoFundMe came in and they shut down the page.
Oh yeah, of course.
So.
Oh God, what were some of the other ones? Some of the the terrible ones. I'm trying to think of just. Well, are we talking GoFundMe's exclusively, or are we including Kickstarters and all those other?
I guess we're just talking about GoFundMe's. I mean, mind you, now GoFundMe is a fantastic site, and there are a lot of really worthwhile things. I mean, because well, shit, the last time I was in the hospital and was out of work for 2 months because I had to let my leg heal. I had to go to GoFundMe because I got screwed out of my short-term, benefits and everything because work's kind of goofy like that. And I may have to do it again because, well, I'm going to be off for a few months because of the weight loss and probably getting that gastric, bypass. Excuse me, bypass. Damn, I've got the hiccups now. And, so I may need to go back to that later. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
I mean, it's really not something I want to do, but I may have to at some point.
And that's the thing, is that there's also the difference between when you have, people that enjoy your content and want to see you thrive and continue onward, but, you can be yeah, I might not make YouTube videos for a while, and people could be like, oh, here, if I give you money, will you make videos sooner?
Well, see,
that's a little bit different.
That also, though, is I also have Patreon. If people really want, they can go to Patreon. They can start throwing money on there. I also have a PayPal if they really want to do that. By all means, there's still plenty of options. I may not need to resort to GoFundMe, but if I have to, then unfortunately, I have to. So, anyway, let's see what else we got in the chat here. We got. Got a bunch of people talking about Power Rangers for some reason.
Did that movie come out, by the way? Did the Power Rangers movie, dude's been out for a while. I didn't hear a fucking thing about it.
Now, do you mean out in theaters or out in Blu-ray?
Either or.
Because I think it came out on Blu-ray recently.
Did it? Really?
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, it did. Dude, it did terribly in theaters.
Well, I mean, I can understand why. I didn't hear a word about it. Did it get bad reviews, or was it just very poorly advertised?
It was kind of sort of a mix of reviews were kind of poor, advertising wasn't really there, and there was a lot of people just spurging out because it's not like the Power Rangers that they watched as a kid. To which I am going to say that first of all, it's not supposed to be exactly like the thing you grew up with as a child. All right, it's not. It's supposed to be like a new version of that for a new generation. And so whenever I hear people complain about these reboots, and their only argument is, oh well, it's not like, you know, what I watched as a kid. Fuck you. That's not the point of it. So when I hear people complain about the new Ghostbusters movie, and the reason is, well, it's not like the old ones. It's not trying to be like the old ones.
No, the reason is because it's shit.
See, and I don't know. I still haven't watched it yet. It's still potentially in the running for reaction and review. It's still on the tournament bracket. I really can't give away if it won that match or not, but it may have.
I forget who it was, if it was CinemaSins or Honest Trailers. Somebody brought up a very good point of the biggest problem with the movie is that everybody's the comic relief. And while, you know, in the, you know, I know it's, you know, I know the exact thing we're trying to do is not compare it to the original, but in the original movie, you know, we had comic relief characters and everybody had their funny moments, but not everybody was the fucking Jar Jar of the movie.
Yeah, like not everybody was a walking joke fucking machine. Not everybody was Venkman.
And that's the problem is that's the biggest problem with the movie. And also, I love how, you know, oh, it's terrible to sexualize women, but if we do it to a guy, it's okay. But if women do it to men, that makes it okay.
But, I mean, seriously, though, like, with all of these fucking, like, reboots and shit, the fucking one argument I am so sick to death of hearing are people saying, oh, boo-hoo, it's not like this old shit, you know. I don't like fucking Man of Steel because it's not like the Christopher Reeve films. Well, bravo, it's not trying to be that. Shut the fuck up. The Batman featured in BVS is not trying to be any other Batman. So stop trying to compare him. It's a totally new Batman in a totally new continuity. Get the fuck over it.
And yeah, that's another one of those things where there are so many bigger flaws to point out. Why do you have to stick to the dumb ones? It's the fucking Trump argument. Unfortunately, it's the best thing that I can do.
No, dude, it isn't even that. Okay, I happen to remember. Do you happen to remember when Sonic 4 first came out?
Which one was that one?
Sonic 4 was the one that they released in like 2 parts on like PS3 and shit. Okay, so there is this guy on the internet. His name is Richard Lakuta, and he's this walking joke. There's a whole lot of personal shit that just makes him one of the cringiest human beings to ever walk the face of the earth. But he's also a huge Sonic fan. What do you know? What do you know? Looky, there's a cringe fucking monkey who's really into Sonic. Go figure.
Yeah, I know. Have you heard of this Darkness the Curse guy? What a fucking loser.
A lot of other Sonic fans out there are just about as cringy as you can get. And Richard was all psyched for Sonic 4 because it was supposed to harken back to the old days. And when the trailer first dropped, he did a live reaction of himself watching that very first trailer, which featured about 1/10 of a second of gameplay. Because the rest of it is just Sonic
I remember that too, because it was one of those first trailers that I remember was supposed to be a gameplay trailer and lacked any gameplay whatsoever.
Yeah, because it's just Sonic running in front of like a blue background, and then you might see like little like glimpses of gameplay in the background. And his big complaint, and was still his complaint all the way up to when the game came out, was that Sonic isn't the short, pudgy, black-eyed Sonic that we played in Sonics 1, 2, and 3. It's the tall, stretched-out, green-eyed Sonic we've played in recent games. To make this even worse, Chris Chan...
No, I was going to say, well, here we go. This is where it gets all interesting,
Sonic
right?
Boom,
Sonic Boom I remember
is a
that.
game with a lot of flaws. I mean, I've heard a lot of people who've played Sonic Boom on the Wii U, and they say a lot of problems with it. His problem had nothing to do with gameplay, had nothing to do with characters, nothing to do with any of that. It had to do with the fact that Sonic's arms were blue.
Arms were blue. That one never gets old.
Which, for those who try to keep up with Chris Chan and wondered why he maced a guy at GameStop, the reason is because they were kicking him out of that GameStop because he was defacing their Sonic Boom covers by trying to put a flesh tone on Sonic's blue arms.
Whatever happened to him? Is he still, like, gone, or is he still around?
He apparently is still around. He is now trans and goes by Christine Chandler. And
oh boy.
Apparently he's still making his comic.
Oh boy.
I really don't know anything else because I don't follow him anymore. Because after he fucking maced that dude at GameStop and, you know, all that shit, I just went, okay, this thing here is officially a train wreck.
You say this train wreck has gone on for too long. At this point, it's boring.
Yeah.
You know what? You sit and stare at a train wreck, but when the train wreck goes on for like 15 minutes, you're like, okay, this is actually just becoming horrifying. Like, I'm gonna go.
It's really interesting to watch as the train is flying off of the rails and everything's crashing into each other.
Yeah.
And it's fine to listen as the people are screaming out in pain. But there actually comes a point when all of a sudden the cars catch fire and you go, yeah, no, this is just wrong.
At this point, showing up and still just staring at their funeral going on is like a bit creepy.
Yeah. There actually comes a point where you just go, I'm done. I'm done. There are actually people in the chat are saying that they never noticed that Sonic's arms were tan.
I didn't notice either until he pointed it out.
No fucking clue until all of a sudden I heard that Chris Chan was macing people for, you know, Sonic's blue arms. I'm like, weren't his arms always blue? And then I looked back and went, well, no, what do you know? Fucking A.
It's like when people got all upset about Sonic's hair in Sonic Boom.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Oh god, you don't remember that when like when like his first images came out, people were getting upset about his hair.
No, I was hearing people complain about the bandages.
Well, that too, yeah. But other people were complaining about his fucking hair, or spines, or whatever you want to fucking call them. And then, you know, Knuckles the Bane Echidna.
Yeah. Well, at least, though, I will say with Sonic Boom, and this right here is something that I think is certainly a positive, is at least they were changing up the body types on the characters.
Yeah.
At least now it's not Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, and they all look the fucking same. At least now they all have different body shapes.
They're distinguishing characteristics and such, you know?
Yeah, they're... I mean, granted, it's still creepy that the hedgehogs are all fucking cyclopses, but still, you know, what are you gonna do? Alright, I am gonna answer a couple more questions, and then I'm gonna have to go, because I'm actually starting to feel a little bit tired, so...
Ah, you wuss. Alright.
Let's see, what do we got here? Your thoughts on the Guardians of the Galaxy animated series? Have not seen it.
There's an animated series?
Apparently.
Ooh, actually, speaking of animated series, I have a question for you. Have you seen Castlevania yet?
I don't have Netflix, dude.
And?
Then I probably wouldn't.
No? Not a Castlevania fan?
I'm not really a Castlevania fan, and plus I heard it's only fucking 4 episodes long, so...
Yeah, it's very much it's very much the setup to the rest of the series.
Alright, let's try to find a final question so that way we can roll out on this and then I can go and lie down for a bit.
I like the most recent question. Emer, are you a furry?
No.
Please don't let that be the question we go out on.
No, we are not going out on so apparently the Guardians of the Galaxy series is on Disney XD.
Huh.
Which is probably why I don't watch it. I don't think I've ever watched Disney friggin' X friggin' D in my lifetime.
Yeah, no, I can say the same myself. Huh.
I will tell you though a show that I've been watching recently. I'm actually kind of waiting for 1 a.m. to roll around so I can watch the new episode. Toonami is running the new Lupin the Third series.
Ooh! Oh wait, what? Hold on. There's a new Lupin the Third?
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Dude, it's awesome.
Is it? I will take your seal of approval as gospel if that's the case.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now. I happen to remember when Toonami first aired Lupin like years ago.
Oh yeah.
When it was like I think it was like the 70s series or the 80s series. The red fucking jacket series, which that was. I loved that. They got back most of that cast. Actually,
oh my god,
all of that cast.
Oh my god! All right, no, I'm gonna go watch this right the fuck now.
Zenigata is the only one I think that they had to recast because Zenigata is the only one who sounds different.
That's unfortunate, but
it's still fucking Tony Oliver as Lupin and.
Oh my god,
dude! It is fucking amazing.
Oh my god, I am so excited. I had no idea this was a thing. When did it come out?
A couple of weeks ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think last week was like the 3rd episode. Hang on, let me think. First episode was Lupin's wedding to that fucking and the second episode was what was the second episode? I don't remember the second episode. Yeah, I think, I believe actually this week is the 4th episode.
So Blue Jacket series, I guess?
Yeah, I believe it is blue.
Okay. I am totally going to fucking watch this.
In fact, guys, if you want to know what kind of a fucking Lupin fan I am, if I ever get GTA 5 again, I get it on the PS4, I'm going to have to transfer my character over, which you can do if you still have a Rockstar social.
Actually, hold on. From your PS3?
Actually, I transferred from the PS3 to the Xbox One. The social club will let you do that.
Okay. Yeah. No, because I know old generation you can't transfer from anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can.
I transferred it over to the Xbox One, so
yeah,
I should still be good now.
Fully Cooley coming back, and who the fuck cares?
I kind of care, dude, because Fully Cooley is cool. I like it.
I actually, where did I have this discussion? I had a discussion with somebody about this recently. No.
But anyway, on GTA Online, my character, I gave him the like Native American like face paint, just because why the fuck not? I gave him cornrows, because why not? But the outfit is Red Jacket Lupin. I went full out. I got as close as I could to every fucking color. And it looks amazing.
I'm just so excited to watch this new season now. I have something to do tonight. I'm so excited.
Well, see, and it's like 1 o'clock for me, so I think it'd be yes, that'd be like 2 a.m. for you.
Yeah.
So.
I'll fucking just stream it online because.
All right.
I don't know. TV is just not. I don't watch TV anymore.
By the way, I guess actually this right here is a good thing to fucking go out on. Do you want to know what I found myself watching recently?
What?
I was sitting on YouTube. I was just curious. I looked up American Gladiators.
Oh God!
I watched 2 old episodes of American Gladiators. The best part is that these things came off of a VHS and still had the commercials.
Oh my God, no!
So I got to see old school commercials for like Dr. Mario, Super Mario Kart. One episode was from 1990. In fact, it was the first episode of season 2. So it was like the first time that they came out and said, hey, look, we have this whole new set, and And we have Larry fucking Zonka joining us on the broadcast team, and we have 6 new fucking gladiators. We have all new games. You know, and the episode was decent. The other one was from 1992, and the show was a lot more polished. And it was cool. I loved it. A lot of people, there's someone in here saying that Toonami should have stayed dead, and I say yes, I completely agree on that. Toonami really doesn't serve a purpose anymore.
Nah.
Because, you know, years ago, Adult Swim used to be able to run anime without having to have the faggy fucking robot in his little spaceship. All they had to do was just go, hey guys, we are gonna have a block of Lupin and Trigun, and Cowboy Bebop and Outlaw Star. Come at us, and they'd run it for 2 hours, which was awesome, you know, because that was I never got around to watching Outlaw fucking Star, but I watched the shit out of Lupin and Trigun, thanks, you know, to that.
Oh yeah, same here. I was never able to get through Outlaw Star.
I never actually had a chance to watch it, so I've been thinking about getting the Blu-ray set, but, well, cash is kind of light right now, so I can't go blowing it
I watched the first few episodes, and I just, you know, I understood why it was good and why people would like it, but I was just like, I'm just not feeling this. Like, I can't feel myself being interested in these characters. Like, I like the setting, like the whole idea of it, but just was not sitting on me.
But you see, now I just look at it and I look at the freaking lineup of it, and the only show that's worth watching on it is Lupin. Because I look at everything else, I look at fucking Dragon Ball Super, I'm like, I don't give a shit. I look at freaking, like, Attack on Titan, I just don't care. You know, what the hell are some of the other ones that they run now? They run, like, Tokyo fucking Ghoul, I just don't care.
I blasted through that in one sitting. It was alright.
They also run Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, but you know,
that
honestly has its moments, but it's nothing really.
Yeah, again, another one of the things I never really just got into. One Punch Man, though. One Punch Man was on there.
That show sucked.
Fuck you.
I hated that goddamn show.
I love that shit.
I honestly just found it to be kind of dull, personally.
I thought that's what made it so great, is it was just one of those, like, chill and relaxed shows that had basically the fight scenes of Dragon Ball Z mixed with just nothing in between, like, almost like essentially Seinfeld in between.
That's a horrible insult to Seinfeld. I just want you to know that. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this stream.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Least. Plus side is we went for about... hang on a minute. Let me actually go back live. I want to say... Oh, man, we've gone for about 97 minutes. That's perfect. So, yeah. And now I am feeling I'm feeling completely exhausted from sitting upright for 90 minutes. That, again, you know, this fucking, like, hernia really doesn't allow me to do much. I guess it's kind of like a closer for those who came in and you missed out on the early bit when I talked about my little medical update. I had a doctor's appointment recently. I was weighed. I've lost 25 pounds. I'm feeling amazing. I just got to lose.
He's going on a weight loss journey.
Going on a weight loss journey, according to my doctor, which that's cheesy, but still very, very cool. Just sort of wanted to throw that out there one more time. I want to thank you guys for coming out. I would like to thank Duck for joining me for this 90 minutes of randomness and awesome. So.
I'm glad that I suggested it.
Yes, I am so happy that you did, because I was thinking about it, and then I'm thinking, yeah, but I don't know if Duck has other plans tonight. Apparently you did.
Dude, my girlfriend's out of the country until October. I got fuck all to do for the next few months.
All right, well, shit, man, we actually could do this a little bit, like, more often then.
I am totally up for that.
All right, well,
Please,
anyway,
I'm desperate.
Guys. anyway, guys, that honestly is going to do it for us here, and until next time, guys, I will see you later.
Good night, everybody.
Peace.